But isn't Lone dropping? Lone said he was dropping. He's dropping 2 projects, actually. One, right here. One, he said he was dropping Broken Hearts 3, which that's a fan favorite. Broken Hearts and Broken Hearts 2. Broken Hearts 2, I feel like, is when he got real popular. And then he's also dropping a collab tape with Ken Carson. But once again, just like Baby Boy, I don't think bro is actually dropping an Opium tape or an Opium collab tape, Opium Twins with Ken Carson, because it just, I don't know. He might do a SoundCloud tape or something like that, but I feel like the labels, the Interscope and Opium, they're just trying to push their artists. Why not just feature each other on there? Ken would just be carrying. Now, maybe if Lone goes back to his old sound or whatever, but I feel like once an artist gets down the path, I think somebody tweeted this the other day. It was like Lone is starting to go down the path. It was a response to this, actually. It was a quote tweet. He's going down the path of Uzi, where you get in this like weird purgatory of, should I listen to the fans and go back to my old sound? Or should I just keep progressing and doing my thing and be confident in my new sound, and then people will just eventually rock with it, aka Cardi. Whereas Uzi did the same thing, and then when he went back to the old sound, everybody's like, no, this is trash, like evolve more. Although I feel like Uzi did lose a little bit of his sauce, but then when we listen to his snippets like last week or something, like he still got it. He just picks the wrong songs to drop. Like I don't know what goes through that man's mind. Somebody needs to stop supplying him with fucking nitrous. Whatever balloon factory is nearby in Philly or wherever he lives, like they need to shut down. I am going to send a nuke to that factory because they are killing Uzi physically and his music and legacy and catalog. Like, please get that man away from the balloons, bro. He does not need that many birthday parties. Now, so Lone is deciding he's going to drop 2 projects. I think the Broken Hearts 3, that would be cool. I fuck with that. I think that maybe considering the last 2 projects, Love Lasts Forever, and then what was the one before that? If Looks Could Kill. Pretty boring if you ask me. Although I have justification for that. I feel like if you turn on like a Lone song, you'll like it, but 30 or 25 tracks of that, it just gets like, bro, like you're putting me to sleep. This is better than Melatonin. But Ken is going to wash him on an Opium Twin, so I don't know if he wants to see that, but hey, they're bros, so why not? Now, Ken is dropping, what, April, something like that? And now Duty said that he's dropping over 100K. I don't know about 100K. How much did a Great Chaos sell? 48. I replied to somebody's tweet saying 54, but it was 48. Maybe it was 54K projected, and then it ended up being 48 because it usually always goes down. Just because, like, I don't know, the bots stop working. Hey, I'm not dissing Ken. Everybody does it. We talked about that earlier. But as I was saying, I'd say it's probably going to be like 70. Because look, how are you going to jump from, what was X? Ken Carson X. He went from... It debuted at 115. I don't even think so. It probably sold less than 10K, right? Now, again, if A Great Chaos sold 48K, how are we going to expect him to jump all the way up to 100K if he was selling like 10K and then 48K and then I'm going to think like 75. I don't know. Some people in marketing were hitting me up like, nah, he's selling over 100, like he's that big. But I don't know. I feel like he's not, like he's for sure huge culturally. He is one of the most relevant artists. He is the most relevant underground artist, like the underground culture, not necessarily like the internet culture community. He's not underground, but like, I don't know if he's going to get the same level of bots and playlisting and radio play, among other things, to really get to the same level as 100K first week. Like Young Thug ain't even really hitting 100K like that. What was Young Thug first week? His last album was Business is Business, right? And he had all the hype of coming out of jail. He was still in jail at the time. He dropped it on the same day or the week after. I think it was the week after. Gunna dropped his album after that whole snitching allegations, whatnot. But if Young Thug, which like he's an OG, and I know he doesn't really like sell as well as some of the other bigger artists like Future or like Cardi at this point, Drake, whatever. But like he's still very well respected. So I don't know if Ken Carson is gonna hit the same level of like the old heads. They're like Ken Carson music just isn't really meant for that. Like I'm at the probably very end of the age range of people who are gonna be listening to Ken Carson. Okay. And I'm only 28. So all like 29 to even my age, probably like 26 to like 45. That age range, people aren't really listening to Ken Carson like that. It's a very young audience. Now, I'm not hating on Ken Carson because I want him to do well. And if he sells 100K, by all means, like I'll dap him up. Okay. But I don't know. I don't see it. He's doubled in size since he dropped A Great Chaos with bundles. He can easily sell 100. What do you mean by doubled in size? Because I don't know if that's true. There is no age range on art, bro. There is. Just like how like I like watching financial content, but you know, like 13-year-olds aren't going to be watching financial content. And of course, like older people can listen to Ken Carson. I'm just generalizing here. Like if I give this to my brother-in-law who's like 40 years old, he's going to turn that shit off and be like, why are you sending me this? I have boys who are my age or 1 year older than me who think it's brain rot. Most of them. Literally, I have like one friend who is like kind of cool with like Ken Carson type music, but like he knows who Ken Carson is. He's very tapped in the internet, but he doesn't listen to that type of shit. He has doubled in size, or was Cardi just MIA? I think that's like a good marketing strategy that they have done. Ken Carson, like Opium, like where Cardi can disappear and then Ken Carson and Destroy Lonely can kind of get the spotlight, you know? Whereas most of the labels can't really do that because they need their big artists to continue dropping, to continue to sell well and sell tickets and remain relevant. But like no one else can really do that. So that's why it works so well. And it's honestly elevated Cardi more because now the underground still fucks with Cardi. Whereas most of the time when you go mainstream, the underground stops liking you, aka like Yeet, or name another artist that popped off. I don't even know. Yeet's probably the most recent and best example where people in the underground still like Yeet. But I'm just saying like people have kind of switched up on him because he went mainstream. But like since Cardi has signed people who have come up in the underground after him, he's maintained like those younger fans where people think like still know he's the top dog. You know what I mean? What makes you say Ken Carson has doubled in size? Like, can you show me the stat there? I'm not arguing with you here. I just want to know, like, is that true? A Great Chaos definitely popped off. Don't get me wrong. He's definitely gonna have Kai Cenat reacting to it. He's gonna have all the streamers reacting to it. But like we saw Uzi do the same thing. This is what we brought up with Duty. Like Uzi dropped Eternal Take 2 and pretty much every streamer reacted to it, or almost all. And it just was like really bad. And I'm not saying Ken Carson's album is bad, but it ended up selling like 65K or something like that. And so if Uzi, and I know he's fallen off a little bit relevance wise and maybe like music wise or whatever, numbers wise, but like it's harder to hit 100K streams nowadays. Now they boosted up a little bit with bundles. Whoever said it before with bundles that Ken could get up to 100K, like I could see it because Ken is one of those brands where people will buy his merch, where most artists can't do that. So I get it. They're talking strictly monthly listeners, which could literally just be one song going crazy. Yeah, exactly. Monthly listeners is just one song. Like if you look at a TikTok artist who has one song that blew the fuck up to like 100 million streams, maybe even a billion. They're going to have hella monthly listeners for the time that that song is relevant. But did they gain that many fans? No. And are people listening to multiple songs? Likely not. So monthly listeners is a weird metric. I do think it's more relevant than people give it. Like they hate on that statistic. They're like, bro, monthly listeners means nothing. Like, I disagree. I still think it's an important metric, but you have to like caveat it with, it could just be one song. It doesn't mean fans. It fluctuates a lot. If you get one hit or if you just drop recently, then it will go up significantly. But yeah, again, like we're just talking opinions here. I'm not a fucking prophet. I don't got a crystal ball. So if Ken gets 100K, like, I'm not hating. Like, I hope that he does. But with Cardi, a lot of people were saying like 350, 300. He's selling 500 with these many streams, like on the first projections. And I was like, no, he's selling 250 plus. I said 250 plus. What did he sell? He sold 298. That didn't hit the 300K mark. So all the people who were saying he was selling over 300, your boy was right, 250. I was the only one that was right. Now with Ken, I'm saying 70 plus. I feel like that's still a solid number. But people overvalue this shit. Plus, I think Ken Carson and Cardi and Opium, they get a lot of international streams. But when it comes to like US streams, they're not getting the same amount. Like, people were overvaluing Cardi's forecast for like the projection for his first week sales. So they were saying like, bro, his first day he sold like 300K or whatever. And I'm like, well, those were all global Spotify streams where probably like a third or whatever were US and counted for Billboard. And 298 is 300. I know, I'm low key fucking around. But no, he sold 320, somebody's saying, but that was with bundles. Okay. I think I showed here, hold up. I think I showed the stats a while back where he sold like 10K pure. Like, everybody who was saying that it was 298 all pure streams. That's actually not true. I think Hits Daily Double. Hits Daily Double. I think they got it. This is where everybody gets their charts from for like the first week predictions and whatnot. All right. 302. So they're saying 302. Now Billboard said 298. But as you can see, it says 10K albums right here. That's the pure. So even so, technically streams wise, he only did 292, right? So, and if it was 298 with the Billboard calculations and 10K pure, then it would be 288. So, just saying, your boy was right. Why did Cardi say 320? Well, I don't know why Cardi said 320. Let's go to it. Interscope probably does their own calculation, or Opium, where they came up with their own. See, okay, Rather Lie. Let's see. Where's the 320, brah? 320. Academic says Cardi sells 298K first week. It will debut number one on Billboard. Then Cardi a couple days ago, or yesterday, sorry, said 320. So he was just correcting him. But these are not the official numbers, right? Because if you go to chart data, music, Cardi. Most simultaneous entries for a rapper, that's 30. Toxic. Hey, Toxic hit number 34. I knew that song was a banger. Although it looks like that was probably the lowest charting song on here. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That was one of my favorite songs on there. You know what? Billboard said it. Let's go to Billboard. Just go on their fucking website. This was for last week, though, I think. Week of March 22nd, 2025. Yeah, so Cardi wasn't even in there. Why is Billboard fucking us up like this? Billboard doesn't update till Friday. Well, what doesn't make sense to me is that The Billboard announcement was last Friday because music had already been out for a week. So that's the Friday it's supposed to update. But you're right. Maybe the chart on their website doesn't do it does it for 2 weeks after or a week after the announcement. Like, it doesn't make sense. The label still got to submit their sales, so it's probably going up. I don't know if that's a thing because Billboard does their own, like, they're like an audit company essentially. They do their own independent calculation of first week sales, not necessarily they don't get the album submitted by the label. I don't think they get the numbers from like official sources, because if you know labels are going to inflate the numbers like, oh yeah, we just trust us. We sold 400K. We sold 320, bro.